Friends, we got a lipstick. I'll explain. And you're like, where's the footage, Alicia? I started off strong on my way to the Louis Vuitton store. I had my camera on hand, I had the mic up, and then I met Melanie, who was nice enough to walk me to the store because I made an appointment with her. She is a sales associate at the main Louis Vuitton store. We set this up last week. And at first, because last week I asked her, am I able to take videos and photos? And she said yes. But today, I was told that only photos can be taken. I'm like, okay. But then as I was there, she was like, well, actually, because this is opening weekend, they're allowing videos to be taken. I'm like, okay. But at that point, I was already sat down. I was like already in the process of trying the lipstick and the eyeshadow that I just kind of lost my rhythm with my vlogging. So what I have for you though, I didn't just give up completely. I did take photos that I will go through, just letting you know the experience I had at the store and the close-up shots that I took. I don't have great shots of swatches because the Louis Vuitton La Boutique store was very adamant about not looking like Sephora. They were saying like, we're protecting how the displays are and in terms of sanitation protocols, like they didn't want no one's grubby fingers swatching their shadows. So they were doing that on the client's behalf. Every person in there had an associate nearby. They made sure that people weren't going willy-nilly on their own swatching lipsticks and shadows. So you had to have a sales associate either swatch shadows for you with a Q-tip, or they'll scrape the lipstick and then they'll give you a sample. When I got there, I was like one of the first people in the store, by the way. There were only like 2 people there because I went right when they opened at 11. And they told me I could only swatch 3 lipsticks. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? I had like 6 different lipsticks I wanted to swatch. So I was only given 3 choices. And of course, those choices had to be Vuittonite, Rumbling Storm, which I had on, but it started to fade because I ate lunch, and Volcano Heart. So let's bring you to the beginning where, yes, we're walking to the store. We see Louis Vuitton. I got there like 20 minutes before opening. And then when in the store, it's all red. It's all red with a section that you can virtually try on lipsticks and eyeshadow. It's like a virtual try on experience. You had the main display on the center of the store. And this is a little close up of how the samples or the testers were laid out. Testers that you really couldn't test yourself. You had the lipstick color on the main shelf, and then you had the testers right underneath. Pretty, but you know, untouchable basically. But this cracked me up. Do you see the LV monogram cotton flat? These were not on sale, but I was afraid to ask the price. I don't even think they have a price. This was like a soft launch, but they're definitely, I don't know if they'll sell these to the consumer or this is just a part of the LV beauty store experience, but I cackled inside. I'm like, how much you think this is gonna cost, fam? Like 50 flats for how much? 100? So when they go in, they assign you associate, a makeup artist actually, who are trained in the release and the textures and the makeup. They'll sit you down at a vanity table. They'll prep everything for you. They have skincare. I have photos of the skincare. These are close-ups, or not really, but photos of Forces of Nature and Monogram Touch. These are the 2 palettes. If I had just $500 to drop, I would get these 2. Well, not really 500, but $250 for the palette, and I forgot how much the refills are, maybe $90 for the refill, because you're only supposed to buy the compact ones. Thank God. But these 2 I had my eye on. I actually have Forces of Nature on my eye. It's starting to break down because I had a Giorgio Armani tint on before coming, and Justina had to use the Bi-Phase makeup remover to take that off, but I think some of that Bi-Phase texture was still on my lids, which doesn't help longevity when these shadows are already so soft to begin with. But here it is. I had to take, this is the Bi-Phase. This is basically the Bi-Phase Lancome makeup remover. I use Bifesta, which is a Japanese brand. A mascara remover is a similar, I don't even know what's in this, but it does the same thing, right? But it's Louis Vuitton. And the cap has the flower motif on there. So okay, let's get into these lipstick swatches, and of course I'll show you what I actually bought. This was Vuittonite, and I thought it was going to be more almond based off the photos. I thought this was going to be similar to Lisa's Velvet Affair, which is like a toasted almond shade. This is more of like a terracotta. It looked like that in store, but because there was so much red in the store, it was probably hard to make out the true color of these lipsticks, which by the way, 55 in all, because LV is a Roman numeral for 55. Yay, fun fact. This is where I plopped on Vuittonite, which I actually have a sample of. Look at my little sample tent right here. Okay, we got a little sample of this lipstick. A miracle. I like how it looks on. Again, it was hard to tell with this lighting. Lighting wasn't great. You would have had to like find your way under a certain overhead light, again, to get a true sense of how this color looked. Ideally in front of natural light, but there were no windows in there. The only windows were from the doorway from which you entered, and that was it. You would have to walk to the doorway to get a natural light picture, because in store it wasn't happening. And this is what I had on. Rumbling Storm, one of these satin lipsticks. So Vuittonite was a matte finish. This is a satin, a true plum brown with a little gold pearl in there. And I thought, listen, this was a shade that I thought I was gonna get, but I went with Volcano Heart because I prefer, well, that's not true. I do love a shiny brown, but I do love browns as a matte. So that's why I picked Volcano Heart to buy. But because the component for the lipstick is $160, you're only supposed to buy it once. Also, fun fact, the lip balm and lipstick components are the same. So you could interchangeably put a lip balm refill or a lipstick refill in either the white or the black component. So it's up to you whether you want to buy the white or the black, but they're interchangeable. So you don't have to worry about if you want a balm or you want to purchase a balm refill after buying a lipstick, you could put the balm refill in the lipstick, the black component. Here's another overhead shot that I just thought lovely because the vanity table for the beauty store was exquisite. What can I say? You had two leather trays. You had the Louis Vuitton embossed cotton flats, and you had Louis Vuitton branded hand sanitizer. I didn't dare ask how much that was going to cost. If people lost their minds about the lipstick and the eyeshadows, I could only imagine they'll lose their minds again when we find out how much this skincare is going to cost. Don't know when it's going to release. They weren't selling it in store. They were just they had it there for the total on-brand experience, okay? And here's a short video of Forces of Nature up close. It was hard to tell if these shadows were baked. I thought they were, because you have a slight mound look to them, but because I couldn't feel them with my fingers, that would have been breaking the sanitation protocol. Justina was nice to at least brush a few swatches on my arm, and I think I have them here. So this is a video of the swatches that Justina placed on my arm. You can see they're not mind-blowingly Pat McGrath mothership textures, right? So that green, which I have on my lid, is like a true satin with an opalescent finish. It had like a nice sheen on there. The powder matte was standard, soft, easy to apply and easy to blend. And this shade, where I thought it might have likened to maybe an actual shade, it does not. It has nice shine. And again, I probably could have picked up more shine if I would have used my finger and put it on my lid, but I wasn't allowed. And this is how Forces of Nature looked freshly applied on the eyes with Rumbling Storm. I gotta say, listen, you're paying for the component. I didn't buy the eyeshadow. It would have been too much in one day. But I can see the ease of use in how these shadows just float on the lid, but they had good adherence. They took low bandwidth. And for those who like eyeshadow, but they're intimidated by it, they feel that they look clownish or just raccoon eye when they try to attempt to apply any shadow. These basically hold your hand. These textures hold your hand. I actually had the pleasure of applying them on my own. Justina was nice enough to lend me one of those synthetic brushes that cost a fortune. You're basically paying for the brass handle with the Louis Vuitton monogram pattern on there. They weren't anything special, but I can only imagine if I used my Fude with these shadows, I could have gotten a lot more out of them. They don't have the same, well, let me say this. This type of a texture does not exist in a mothership. That soft kind of like, I want to say it gave me a sense of baked, but I can't confirm. Even Justina couldn't confirm. She asked this and another artist during like the training or whatever, they didn't even have an answer. Like, who are these people training you? She also couldn't confirm if they were made in France or Italy. I should have looked on the back of the sample, but I didn't. But possibly made in France. Considering how soft they are, I wouldn't put it past them. And I wanted to wear the monogram touch on the other eye, but she was like, let's make sure they look the same. I'm like, sure. I'm not a stranger to different eye looks for sure. And here's a shot, oh my gosh, of, you see, you got the hand sanitizer, the makeup brush cleaner, the biphase cleanser, and the cleansing milk. Not yet released, don't know when we're gonna see these. And I'm wondering, they might as well sell that tray. They probably should put Louis Vuitton all over it. Now this was just Justina showing me around the store the different accessories that they were selling. They were selling exclusive. This is the trunk that holds the lipstick. It's for $3,000. If you were interested. And here are the epi leather accessories that like hold 5 lipsticks or hold 1 lipstick. They got a keychain on there if you just wanted to carry around your Louis Vuitton lipstick in its own pouch. And here are the epi leather cosmetic cases, and apparently each shade represents a certain spectrum of the lipstick shade. So you have like the more monogram touch burgundy, you have the pink, and you have the LV red, the LV rouge, which is like the quintessential red for the Louis Vuitton brand. And I had to take a picture of this. This was like one of the main stage setups in the space. The Louis Vuitton vanity, that in and of itself is crazy. I mean, the counter, this trunk on the middle, where you have is basically a makeup trunk, but all Louis Vuitton. And then you have the other smaller accessories there. You have, I think this is what Pat took a photo of upon the announcement that she was creative director for La Boutique LV. So that's there. I guess they'll have that set up, and probably a good idea for opening weekend for any influencer or content creator that wants to go in and sit in a chair, you know, and just have a whole thing about it. And that was basically it. That was the store. You definitely feel this is no Sephora, right? This is no Nordstrom either. This is an exclusive experience, and one that I think is fun to go visit, because if you're into that luxe beauty S tier type of a setup where you have everyone there helping you and making sure that you're catered to, they sit you down, they try stuff on you, everything's Louis Vuitton branded, right? So like I had said before, my shop with me video, this is for the Louis Vuitton customer, and the customer does expect a lipstick to cost this much, I guess, given the details. So let's actually go in to the actual bag. So if you just buy one lipstick like I did, you get a bag and a bag. So you got the main bag, and then you have this smaller bag that actually holds the lipstick, and you have, of course, your receipt envelope. This paper is nice. I love the color. So pumpkin spice latte. Let's open the ribbon. Look inside. We got some tissue paper. Oh, and we also have the velvet sleeve wrapped separately, right? So this is what the lipstick will go in. You have a Louis Vuitton branded felt sleeve with the flower motif on the back. This is have like a, oh, you gotta really get in there. It's crispy in there. And here it is, piece de resistance, the LV Rouge Louis Vuitton. All right, here we go. Made in France. Is that it? That's all we got? I'm looking for a A suggested shelf life. Refillable 3.5 grams or 0.12 ounces of product. I guess this is, I don't know what this QR code is for, maybe for proving authenticity. You have the flower motif here on the top of the box and the LV monogram. I don't know if you can see it. It's hard with the exposure, but it's basically white monogram Louis Vuitton, gold lining, and there she is. This lipstick component is all metal, no plastic, aluminum, brass, and Zamac, I was told. And I knew that the refill was magnetic. I'll show you in a minute. So here's the LV. You got the different monogram motifs around the brass holder. You have the flower motif that's see-through, so that's the lipstick inside. And we have Louis Vuitton Paris, so there's no sticker whatsoever. Magnetic cap. Inside is the brass, and here you go. There she is, LV logo. You see the texture of this lipstick? It has like, almost looks like a fabric, but this is what I wanted to show you. This is the refill. Unfortunately, you cannot just purchase the refill. See how it doesn't screw up? It has to be in the base for the lipstick to actually screw up. And here is the base of the cap. And this is, hold on, there we go. Can you see that? Is magnetic. I don't know what luxury lipstick on the market has a magnetic refill like that, because people are like, Hermes doesn't cost so much. Well, Hermes is made out of plastic too. The component is magnetic, but the main parts of it are plastic, maybe with some metal. You have the made in France on here. You have the color printed on the actual refill. Do you want to see? Yes, we do. Oh, this is why I wanted this color. It has a little bit of plum in there too, I gotta say. But I also wanted to show you Vuittonite. I'll be happy to apply both. Check out this sample. It's like a nub. This is the nub that I tried on in store, by the way. So I don't know how many nubs they are allowed to give out, but this is Vuittonite 110, and this is the shade. It's pretty. It's pretty. If I were to pick, oh, what are these clouds? They're killing me. If I were to pick like an everyday shade, it will be Vuittonite. So let's apply Vuittonite first so you can see that in action. And the scent is actually pleasant. It doesn't feel or taste super flowery. It's not as aggressive as Hermes, in my opinion. Vuittonite. I know, it's lovely. It's great for like an everyday throw-on shade. I can't stand how the rest of my makeup looks. I should probably fix it. But this is a great color. Again, could just spend $70 on the refill if I wanted to buy this color. The texture is soft. It goes on easier than a Lisa Eldridge True Velvet, because the True Velvet has like, kind of have to warm up the color a little bit. It doesn't have the same slip as a Prada Beauty Hyper Matte though. But I have to say, because I love the Prada Beauty lipstick, but the Louis Vuitton lineup has more shades that I would wear, where Prada Beauty has just a limited, because of the way they like to develop a lot of their like more brownie nudes. They put a lot of pink and red in their brownie nudes, I feel like. This is more of like a brown rose. It's like my lip color, but more enhanced and plump and soft matte. Are you ready for Volcano Heart? I think they misspelled Volcano Heart on the display. They put VAL. And I'm like, I don't think that's correct. Are we ready? I'm being really careful with this bullet, because if it breaks, I'm gonna cry. This is like a true, it looked plummy on the swatch. What do we think? Is it pretty brown? This is like, this would easily be added to the recent brown lipstick video I did. There is a little bit of red in here, but I think it's more of like a plum brown, still with a strong brown overtone in general. But this is why I like the matte, because it's like, it is a softer matte for sure. It's not an intensely dry matte. It has nice movement, pretty easy to apply. And I'll have to wear this at the beginning of the day, kind of gauge its wear time. This is a heavy component. This is intense. This lipstick case is intense. Let's put it in the crunchy sleeve, which I would definitely bring with me. Oh, this is a tight fit. Oh God. That's gonna be a pain to put in. I guess I just have to get that $3,000 lipstick trunk to put in my fanny pack. But here we go. You probably at this point have already shared your views on how it's not worth it or if it is worth it. You are entitled to your opinion. But I think I saw a lot of adverse reaction to this release. It was actually quite interesting. People were telling me to not buy. Don't buy it, Alicia. And that just made me want to buy it out of spite. Like, you are telling me, you're telling me what to do, huh? Yeah, I was surprised at the price at first, but I'm also not a Louis Vuitton customer, so I'm not well versed in their branding and their pricing, but now fully understanding why they did what they did, use the materials that they used for their makeup, yes, warrants a higher price tag. Whenever you are developing something that's all metal and no plastic at all, it's a little complicated. Yeah, people are not going to think this is worth $160, but that really is up to the buyer, and that's the beauty of the free market. If you don't think something's worth your money, you could just move it right along and pay for something that you think is worth your money, that you think it's worth getting something out of. This was probably one of the most explosive releases this year just because of the controversy. But what was disappointing was just witnessing people's moral superiority to others who decided to buy it or was thinking about it. They really got on their high throne and saying that they are better than anyone who expresses interest in this release, who wants to buy it, behind the guise of, well, we can't tell the brand that it's okay to spend this much money. It's like, that's too late. They already decided on the price way before this release. They already made this decision. They, I'm sure, looked at the stats and they know their customer, and they gave an opportunity to the middle customer, right? To the person that might not be able to buy a purse, but they can buy a lipstick. And probably more practical for someone who wears makeup, because Louis Vuitton has democratized their brand for years, right? With the smaller leather goods, with the keychains, the passport folders, sleeves, the wallets, right? So they try to make as many lower priced goods as they can so they could target another part of the demographic, right? And now that they have makeup and a lipstick that looks like what it does, they are now trying to appeal to the beauty audience who necessarily is not a stranger to luxury beauty. And at the time, because I wasn't into luxury beauty, when Hermes released, people lost their minds over the Hermes prices. And here we are with Louis Vuitton ones. If you want to feel better than me because I bought a lipstick and you didn't, it's totally fine. I understand. It's kind of like, which you wouldn't like me saying this, but it's kind of like I'm better than you because I train 3 times a week. And you don't. You decide to spend your time however you decide to spend your time that you think is worth spending the time. And I think it's worth spending the time taking care of my body. But I'm not going to judge you based on those decisions. So I don't think it's fair to judge someone else if they decide not to buy it or decide to buy it. Either way, that's just my view on it. But people are going to rant because they love to rant, and that's fine. If you want to unsubscribe, you don't have to explain. You could just unsubscribe. So you could save yourself the trouble, but I'm sure there are going to be keyboard warriors that just have to share why they're so upset. And if you feel inclined to do so, what can I do? I'm going to still show you the brown lipstick that I bought, and you're still going to click on the video because despite how mad you might be, you're still curious, aren't you? I know you are. All that to say, I'm happy I went. It was fun. I'm happy with this color because this is like my era. I'm in my brown lipstick era. Don't know if I'm going to buy eyeshadow, not in the near future. I might have to set aside a Louis Vuitton eyeshadow fund just for that compact because it is also stationery season. So I need to buy a new Hobonichi. I want to buy Coffee Monster stickers. There are some stationery wants on my wish list that I also would like to tackle. So I kind of have to decide on where I'm gonna go. But let me know, family, if you ordered anything from the Louis Vuitton release, what you're thinking about, if you want to, but you're just kind of forming your wish list now, what you have your eye on, and all that good stuff. And if you made it this far, make sure you like this video by clicking the thumbs up. It helps me tremendously in letting the YouTube algorithm know that I'm worth watching and will continue to watch. And it will also recommend my videos to other beauty enthusiasts such as yourself. And consider subscribing because you never know, more comparison videos. Maybe I'll just do a video comparing this shade to, do I still have Velvet Decade? I have to check. And my other brown lipstick faves that I recently filmed. And you'll know when those uploads drop, especially when you click the notification bell. And if you're a returning subscriber, well, thank you for the watch. I truly appreciate it. And if it's your first time here, please stay, peruse some more. Maybe I'll see you in this video here. I'll definitely see you down below in the comments for this one. Non here again, next time.